It's Shayla Hogan. It's Friday. It's noon. It's time for my live broadcast from my Shayla V Facebook page. Shayla V is my blog that I write. It is a self-development and lifestyle blog. I've been trying to figure out exactly what kind of blog it is, and I think that's a good combination. Self-development means I talk a lot about what I'm thinking about and what I'm working on with myself, and lifestyle is what I do every day, what I make, my kids, stuff that I create. So I have been blogging for 5 years this summer, and I've got about 850 posts. So this is me doing something a little more to add to what I do. This is called a vlog, I believe. So I'm vlogging at noon on Fridays. Today I would like to talk to everybody about the post that I put up today. I post on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for right now. That's what I've been doing. And today's post was inspired by a friend of mine who lives in Australia. Her name is Samantha Wheatley, and she's an intuitive life coach. And she talked about how her kids are going to school right now. And hey, Miss Amy, you'll be here, I'll be here. And my friend said the kids are going to school, and right now is exactly the time when you start to kind of hear about them wanting to fit in, and you think about peer pressure and trying to do the right thing, giving them the right education about how to not try so hard to be anybody but themselves. And her article was about how the best thing we can do is to actually do it for ourselves first, to allow ourselves to be seen, to be brave, being ourselves, and that way they can live by example. And the first thing that I thought about was the fact that I don't think I would be a very good parent to myself if I hadn't had kids. I was a lousy parent to myself before I had kids, and so starting to think about the fact that they would learn from me from what I did and not from what I said, that made me really begin all of the work that I've done to quell my anxieties and to understand who I am and what I should appreciate about myself. And it's been a really long journey, but it's been a very self-affirming, really wonderful journey, because in the process I've opened up and I've met a lot of lovely people, and that's the only way I can teach my kids. I can't say, well, you need to do this and you need to do that, because the first thing they're going to do is the opposite of what I say to them for them to do anyway. So the best thing I can do is just to show up and be brave. I think the one thing she said was, we know how much it hurts for them because we've been there. We really know, and we want to help so bad because we've been there. Well, my story, I have a story to tell about how I was shunned. I mean, everybody has a story probably about bullying to a certain extent, uncomfortable moments, shame moments. Well, we are pack animals, and we need to be accepted into the pack, because if we're not accepted into the pack or the group or the tribe, that means we get outcast, and being outcast is death. I mean, essentially in our brains, our little fear brains, all we can think is if we're not accepted, we're dead. So that's what our children are dealing with. I was shunned when I was a teenager. I had a group of friends. I was supposed to be dating one guy, and I kind of was dating one guy, but then I decided that I wanted to go and see this other guy, and they all shut me out. I actually had a public shunning. I mean, I probably made friends with them later on, but it was really, really hard, and I didn't have very high self-esteem at that point anyway. So I lived through it. I don't think it really taught me anything, but I can tell you that it really hurt. So that fear of being shunned and shamed is what makes us want to please other people. That's the guarantee that we think if we overachieve, we will be enough. We keep trying to please, and make friends and have them believe that we're good enough for them. And the alternate, the other side of that is that we have to be enough for ourselves, that the achievement, glory, the happiness that we want to get, that we're looking for from other people, needs to actually come from within. We need to see what we are. But because a lot of us have been raised as girls We have to, please other people. We have to be pretty. We have to be nice. We're looking at other people all the time for what we think, for our own value, for our own mirror. So it's a really tough thing to turn around. And yet you can't teach your kids other than what you do. So what are you going to do? So lead by example. Lead by example. Now, I did this piece of art that I wanted to show everybody. It says, we have to be, what does it say? We have to show them what brave looks like. And I love that. I love the fact that my daughter drew this and then I filled it in. And I live by that. This is me being brave. I'm on camera, right? I'm on camera. I'm being brave for her. I can't tell her what to do, but I can show her every day. So here's the trick. You teach by example. You also learn by watching people. So she said, Samantha in her piece said, when you come across a person who is accepting of themselves and is not trying to prove anything to anyone, the confidence and ease with which they carry themselves just oozes out of them. When we can do this for ourselves, we no longer feel the need to want to please others or be accepted by others. We are comfortable in our own skins and abilities and talents, and we no longer are concerned with how others feel about us. That's it. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're trying to achieve. We have to teach it by example. But I remembered that story reminded me of a memory that I had. I was probably in my 20s. I was out somewhere. I want to say a bar or a cafe or something. And this woman came in, and she was maybe in her 30s. She wasn't skinny. She was, sort of round. She was wearing a linen outfit, which now these days I always think ladies in like big linen pants and big linen shirts are usually trying to hide a little bit of what they got going on. But the linen was really soft and flowy. I think she had blonde hair. And I remember looking at her and thinking, she likes herself. She's happy with who she is. She's okay with being herself. And it was palpable. I recognized it, and I recognized that I didn't have it. And it's always stuck in my head as something that I wanted to achieve. And it's funny because the way you see me is not the way I see me. So everybody thinks I like myself. I'm all chilling, happy with myself. But that's not necessarily true. I mean, I'm filling up, but I was empty for a long time. So to know that my kid is actually pretty self-confident blows my mind. I was sure I was going to have this anxious, like, little kid or big kid or whatever. He's 11 now. Who just was not self-confident, and he's exactly the opposite. He's a very cool kid, and that blows my mind. Of course, my 3-year-old is very self-confident, but that's the 3-year-old self-confidence, and I don't really want to crush that either. So, just being really, really aware of showing them bravery every single day, and knowing that they come home when other kids at school, peer pressure is a tough thing because everybody wants you to conform, and you end up sometimes. Well, I've found that I felt like a freak because I wasn't a conformist. Never have been a conformist. Never will be a conformist. I'm just not. I'm an artist. Except for that felt weird, and all the messages that I got from society and from my parents and from my schoolmates, I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin, so I didn't know who to be, and that's taken me a long time to figure out. I don't want my kids to have to go through that. And the one last point I wanted to make too is an odd sort of peer pressure opposite thing. When I started to come out of my shell and be myself more online, writing, just whatever. I knew I was definitely being me more, and people noticed it, and they commended me on it. And so instead of peer pressure, I got peer support, and that was the mirroring that I needed that I never had, because you can see yourself to a certain extent, but when complete strangers tell you things that they have no reason to tell you other than they really mean it, it's a really interesting and mind-blowing experience. So I'm so very grateful that I got over myself enough and over my fear enough to come out of my shell enough to then allow for people to come and tell me what they saw, because then those things that they gave me, I threw inside and I mulled over, and I just am very grateful. I have so much more self-confidence and so much more to give than my children, because I allowed other people to give to me. So if someone gives you a compliment today, say thank you, because they give it to you sincerely, and it would be kind of rude if you didn't anyway. So that's pretty much, oh my God. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have today. I've got more to say on perfectionism, but not today. I'll do that next Friday, I think. So all of this month, to let you know, all this month, every Friday I do a video vlog at noon on the Facebook page. I'm also doing an everyday creativity challenge. So after I'm done this, I get to go and draw something with pastels that doesn't suck, hopefully. So if you want to keep your eye on that, I think it might not be on my Facebook page. Hey, Karen. Don't deflect. Hiya, what a compliment. Hiya. I said, take it in. Take those compliments and smear them on yourself. And so every day I'll be doing something creative. This week it's probably all pastels, and I just realized that I probably should put it on my Shayla V page. I think it's on my personal page, but you can visit me there too and ask for my friendship. I'll always give it. I am always here. I am always here, which means I am present. If you write me, I will always get back to you. I might have turned off notifications on my Facebook for a little while so they won't zing, zing, zing at me, but I'm always going to come back and answer you. Always, always, always with your compliments or your comments. Even if you want to be nasty to me, I'll probably just delete it. All right, so have a good weekend. Happy Labor Day for those of you in America or the U.S. And I look forward to coming back next Friday with probably something about perfectionism. All right, take care.